Imam, I guess this is something that most people didn't expect to hear on Christmas Day.
Right. I'm going to just go straight to the point. If you go back for the last 20 years, from the first World Trade Center bombing in '93, this is our view from those who, we've said it then and we've said it now. And this is the belief in the Muslim world. 90% of the bombing plots, or this plot or that plot, we believe is done by and with the help and the aid of Mossad and the United States government. This is our experience. We believe whoever this guy is from Nigeria, we don't believe he have any ties with Islam. If you talk about the World Trade Center bombing, all of these things are done. I can give you two quick reasons and it'll solve the problem. Number one, to blame these things on Muslims, you get you get the Patriot Act, you get the anti-terrorism bill, you get a right to what they call stop, put a freeze on the global Islamic movement, which have been spreading and growing and developing. You get a chance to launch missiles, to kill, and to put a freeze on the Islamic movement. But the Islamic movement is only the first target. Second target is the American people, because as you see, you have a systematic crash of the economy in America, headed downhill. Eventually, it affects everybody. Eventually, it affects the general American people. They want to have all the guns and they want to have the terrorism acts. They want to have everything, not for the Muslims, because we're a small minority, but for the American people who do not put up with high taxes and starving to death.
Wait a second. Did you say that America may have played a role in this?
No, we said they definitely did. We said, we don't believe, yeah, definitely. Definitely. This is our belief. And we've said this, we have, I didn't bring them all, we have CIA patterns of deception, Zionist-controlled media, Babylon the Great, these are years old, Bush the Unifier. Our belief has always been, since 1993, and we did TV programs on it, that the United States government, who do you talk about? You talk about Al-Qaeda. Where did Al-Qaeda come from? Al-Qaeda is a U.S. Al-Qaeda, Bin Laden and all that, those are U.S. friends.
Well, why would the U.S. do this to its own people?
In order to control them.
Jack, what do you think?
In order to control them. Well, this is not new. The Maine, remember the Maine? How did the U.S. get Mexico? How did they get California, Arizona, and all of that? Well, they set up the Mexicans.
Let's stay focused on the present.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. We're showing how history, the American history, is a history of robbing and stealing and setting up people in order to get what they want.
Well, I don't want to try and defend all of America's government through all of history, because we've done some things that certainly we're not proud of now.
Right.
But it's hard to accept that Al-Qaeda today, in the Arabian Peninsula, in the Maghreb, in Afghanistan, Pakistan, is working at the behest of the U.S. government.
Who would it be working at the behest of then, if it wasn't working?
They claim that they're working to create an Islamic caliphate. They claim that their enemy is all Western countries and all Arab leaders who are supported by Western countries.
Where did Al-Qaeda come from? Let's go back to Afghanistan. Bin Laden, all of these people were developed through the United States government, British intelligence, and Saudi money. They brought them in with new tanks, weapons, everything to crush the real Afghani Rabbani, Hikmatyar, and those people. They brought the Taliban in to crush them and bring in a type of Islam that was offensive to everybody. Harsh, beating women, closing schools. That was to turn people against Islam. There's no accidents, I'm sorry. There's no accidents in Afghanistan, no accidents in Pakistan, no accidents in Iran. For the last 25 or 30 years, it's all been skillfully planned. all of it.
The conspiracy theory described by our friend is appealing.
It's true, but is it true or not? Is it true or not? Is it true?
I don't believe that it's true.
Which part don't you believe, so we can get it clear? We don't want to leave the people up in the air. Which part is not clear?
I don't believe that the United States today is directing Al-Qaeda.
You know,
I think
I'm
that
saying what I've said about Al-Qaeda, its beginning, its development. And when did the United States get mad at Al-Qaeda and Taliban? When did they get mad at them?
After 9/11.
After that, but okay, then instead of bombing Afghanistan, they should take the CIA people that developed them and put them in jail instead of killing the people of Afghanistan. If that was even partially true, right? Why, if they developed the group and they went bad, why don't they put the CIA in jail? Why would they kill or slaughter the people of Afghanistan?
That's a reasonable question, and I don't have an answer that will convince you.
No, convince the people. Don't worry about me. The people need to know some.
What the people need to know is that it is very difficult for pious Muslims to believe that Muslims could be responsible for acts of terrorism. Islam is a religion of peace.
Iraqis lived together for 1,000 years as Muslims, Sunnis, and Shias. The Shias supported the rebellion against British colonialism in 1920 and 1921. This was a fatwa given from Najaf. Okay, when the Americans get there, all of a sudden we have suicide bombings of Shias bombing Sunnis and Sunnis bombing Shias to destroy the country. The people of Iraq feel like these are outside forces. Even in the young brother guy, his name was Berg, Nick Berg or something years ago, he was captured and killed, on TV and what have you. We looked at the guys, they had the pictures of the so-called terrorists on the internet. The guy's chest was sticking up like this. Only one of them probably spoke Arabic. They looked like Americans. One thing was sure, two of them was wearing gold, and Muslim men do not wear gold, especially so-called fundamentalists. They was wearing gold. Muslim men do not wear gold. Muslim women can wear gold, but Muslim men generally wear silver. I'm trying to tell you that we talk about this, a conspiracy theory is supposed to be way out. We're talking about real bombings. Anywhere you take, if you talk about Mumbai, you talk about all of these are people that are not well known in the Islamic movement. Now, I'm saying this because I go to Pakistan, I've been to Afghanistan, I go to Iran. I have been knowing the people for 30 years that are involved in the Islamic movement. None of us know, none of us. I talked with one of the main brothers here in the area, Arabic speaking brother. I said, do we know Al-Qaeda, anybody? He said, I ain't never seen one. And I asked him because we have been to conferences all over the world. Neither one of us know any Al-Qaeda. And we're supposed to be the most revolutionary Muslims in the United States. I have never seen them. This is not conspiracy theory. This is the bombings and killings in Iraq and the bombing. This person from Algeria, what does it do on Christmas Day? It says, look at these evil Muslims. It's a message that these Muslims are evil. It gives the United States justification for Yemen, for even northern Nigeria, for anybody. And the people is doing it. Why is this young rich guy all of a sudden going to blow up something? No-fly list. The man is lying through his teeth. I'm on the no-fly list. If I take 10 flights in the U.S., I'm held up. I missed 5 of them.
Why are you on a no-fly list?
Because they don't like what I say. I would remember 1898, remember the Maine, where the U.S. battleship was blown up and not sank, but almost in Havana Harbor. It gave the U.S. the ability. By the way, they had the Navy already in Philippines when it happened. But that gave the U.S. the excuse to take the Virgin Islands, to take Philippines and all of that. And then I remember reading about Mexico, you know, poor Mexico, the invasion of Mexico, and they got to California, they got Arizona, they got New Mexico, they had already just stolen Texas. The Gulf of Tonkin, some people forget the Gulf of Tonkin. You know, this is dealing in the Vietnam era when they blamed North Korea or someone for firing on an American ship. It never happened, but they just bombed the place to smithereens because of that. I'm saying the U.S. government has a history of this, and Mossad, the Israeli intelligence, also have a history of setting people up. I'm saying, as an active Muslim, and knowing Muslims all over the world, and I've been to most of these countries and spent time in them, Islam right now is trying to call people to a better world. That's what we're doing right in Southeast Washington. This stuff that comes up on the news every week is benefiting someone else and is not benefiting Islam. And we look at the pattern of behavior. Who has done this before? Who broke every treaty with the Indians? It was the American government. The Israelis and the Americans, they want to clamp down. They wasn't loose and not tight enough. They have plenty of security. Osama bin Laden supposedly praised the bombing here, right? Now, I just had my regular 1 or 2 year Arabic. When they translated what he said, there's one thing that they miss. They said, Allah be blessed. This is insanity. Muslims don't say that. In Christianity, you can say, blessed be God. But in Islam, you cannot, a human being cannot bless God. It's Allah be praised. I'm telling you,
so you think there's a translation mix-up?
Not translation. I'm saying that they stooges. They stooges. Remember, this is Osama bin Laden, a rich Saudi, has been working with them, and they say, we are happy that the bombing went down. And for that, they invade Afghanistan for him being happy. Who is his being happy? What is his being happy about the bombing have to do with slaughtering people in Afghanistan? I'm trying to say this, is that we are not on the defensive. We've been not saying this outside much, but I am personally tired of the United States doing these things and people not standing up. In America, I am not going to be quiet anymore. We know that this is not done by us because of the pattern of behavior and what Islam demands. It's done by somebody else. We would say the United States government, the CIA, and Mossad. They're the ones that you should look for. Israelis, white Americans, have never forgiven anybody for anything. If it happened 50 years ago, 100 years ago, right? The Israelis are chasing down Nazis, right, that can't even walk, can't hardly talk, slobbing at the mouth, right today. But how many black people are chasing around South Africans, right, after what they did, right? How many of us are saying, you lynched us? The same time during the Holocaust, we used to get lynched every day, regularly. There was, when I grew up, there was common conversation. I'm born in Arkansas. This is common. You don't see none of us going around saying, 60 years ago, 70 years ago, you guys lynched us, except Americans and Europeans. They're always, Mau-Maus are bad. They killed 55 British. The British killed 155,000 Mau-Maus. And the Mau-Maus are uncivilized.